So for those of you that don't know my story, I've been on this journey for about 4.5 years, 5 years. I have to fact check. I don't even really know how long I've been doing this. It's over 4 years. And I started on the product and became a raving fan. It was a yoga student that had introduced it to me. I owned a little yoga studio and I had a Yoga for Schools business. And so when it came across my path, it really made a huge impact on our health. But the business wasn't something that I was looking for at all because I was so busy. I was kind of like, dancing as fast as I could. I had small kids, and so the thought of adding another thing to my plate was just kind of overwhelming. But the girl that introduced Juice Plus to me, she was really persistent, and she invited me to a weekend away, much the same as this one here. And you'll hear all the trainers that come up and speak. It's always an event. That was the thing that shifted the course of their life. And so it was a weekend away at the Banff Beavertail Boot Camp.
Laura, Laura.
We've got a present.
You know how to change a channel.
We were just at the Banff Beavertail Boot Camp recently, and the power went out, like in all of southern Alberta. So the first part of the regional until lunch was in the dark, and nobody could use their PowerPoints, and you just kind of roll with it. So at that time, I didn't think that I couldn't put another thing on my plate, but I went away to this weekend, and honestly, I tried every excuse in the book to get out of going. I really didn't know the girls that I was going with, but for some reason, like, all the obstacles were taken away from me, and I went to this weekend. Again, drank a lot of wine, and was promised yoga, and I really went because I thought, okay, I'm going to go to this Juice Plus training, and I'm going to learn about running a business. Because I had kind of started the yoga studio by accident, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And so I was like, I'm going to go to this Juice Plus training, and I'm going to apply the learnings there to my other businesses that I'm doing. And so that's kind of how it went for me. And I stepped into a room much the same, and it was just like I could automatically feel such an ease and a heart-centered energy there. I'm really sensitive to energies, and so that was something that I could feel. It was palpable. It wasn't put on, it wasn't fake. And that was something that I observed on a subconscious level, and I thought, okay, that's interesting. And everyone was really kind and nice and huggy, and I was like, okay, this feels good. And then I heard Dr. David Phillips talking about Juice Plus, and I am not a science geek. I was like, okay, so Juice Plus, it's fruits and vegetables, it's the color of the rainbows, it's like the chakras, and that was kind of like what I based my decision on. But I was hearing Dr. David Phillips speaking, and I was like, oh my goodness, and I might have dropped an F-bomb or two. I'm like, oh my goodness, this can change the world, and wow, I'm so glad my kids are on it, and I'm so proud that I'm on it, and really feeling like, I really feel like this is something that everybody needs to know about. This information is powerful, and he made the science make sense to me, so that I walked out of there going, I know what oxidative stress is. That's a word that I'd never ever came across before. And so that was happening, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then the next day the training started, and people took time, and they were getting recognized for some of the promotions that they had gotten. And I was really emotional, and I couldn't figure out, like, why am I getting emotional? I didn't know these people. But I just thought, how neat that people are getting up and cheered on for something cool that they just did in their business. And I thought, that was neat. And then I heard the speakers starting to train. And one of the speakers, Stephen Millman, was saying how if you're feeling emotional or you've got goosebumps and your hair's standing on end, then maybe it's something you need to pay attention to. Maybe something important is about to take place in your learning. And so that was something that I had taken note of. And then I heard a couple, and they were called Sean and Jennifer Myers, and they were talking about traveling the world, and they were able to do this because of their Juice Plus business. And so that's the thing that really made me sit up taller in my chair, because my background is I'm a deep-rooted gypsy at heart, and I spent many years traveling, working overseas. I think I lived in about 5 different countries and visited well over 30 in the 7 years that I was traveling. And so to hear them speaking about traveling the world with their kids, and they had taken 15 months to sail around the world, and they alluded to the fact that their business never changed, in fact, that it had increased. And so that's kind of when I went, holy smokes, like there's something here. I think I had this connotation that a home-based business was just a hobby thing, not something that you could make a substantial earning on. And so when I heard that they were doing this, I know that traveling is not cheap, because I was like, cockroach hotels and chicken buses, that's how I travel. But I would see like all the pretty people traveling, or I'd see the How can I afford to bring their kids traveling too? I could barely feed myself. And so when they had shared this, it was the thing that kind of made me go, wow, I think there's something here. And number one, when I was learning there, it just checked all the boxes. Like, it helped people. It made a real difference in the world and an impact. And also that you could have an unlimited earning potential, that there was no glass ceiling. And also that women of the world rock this business. And that was kind of like, wow, this is cool. And so it was kind of in that moment that I thought, wow, am I supposed to be doing something with this? How weird that I'm going to talk about fruits and vegetables and that my path is going to be shifting. But I was open, even though I had other businesses and I was successful in my own right, I was open to the vehicle that would take me further in life and not kind of close to the path that I was already on. And in the background of being there, no one would have known, because on the outside, on the highlight reel, it would have been like I had all my poop in a group. And that's like my famous line, but it's true. But I was struggling. We were struggling. We were in a bad financial situation, on the brink of bankruptcy. I was in a very toxic marriage, and I was kind of just like holding my life together with threads. And so when I found and heard the impact and the power of this business, it was like that glimmer of hope. It was like I had been praying for a solution to the things that were going on in my life. Praying, how can I get out of this financial situation? Why can't I do this? And then here was this like lighthouse that came in my path. And because I was paying attention to that sign, I kind of was like, wow, I really felt like this is going to be a vehicle to help me step into abundance and out of the shackles of lack, and really gift my kids with the life that they had deserved, that I really wanted from them. And we had never taken a family holiday or anything. And so in that moment, I kind of, the orchestra started to play. It was like the spotlight came only on me, and the sound went quiet. I was like, oh, okay. So I asked Baba, am I supposed to do something with this business? I need a sign. Is this my path shifting? And sure enough, I got the sign right away, and like tears streaming down my face. I was like, okay, I guess this is what I'm doing. So I got my notebook out, and in that process, I did become a single mom, and that's not something that anybody wishes on anyone. But because of this business, I was prepared, and I didn't have to go through that, even deeper depths of financial ruin and having to get 3 or 4 or 5 jobs just to make ends meet. And so I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And after leaving there and just being like lit up, I think we dropped a whole whack more of F-bombs on the drive home, going, wow, we're going to change the world, this is what we're going to do. And really just like left ignorance on fire, and really needed to root into and connect to a way to do this so that it felt heart-centered, so that it was, truly, genuinely coming from the place of helping people and coming from the heart. It was the biggest thing that we needed to root into doing this with heart. And so that's what we did. I just kind of left there and was so inspired, and got the coolest part about it was that you could bring your bestest people on board and your bestest friends, and you could kind of like handpick who you wanted to work with, and that was really appealing to me. And also there was just like a roadmap to success. You did X, Y, Z, bonus money would come. You recruited this many people, you got to this level, bonus money would come, income would come. And so it felt like more of a sure thing, even though it didn't seem like a sure thing from the outside. Someone would have said, well, that yoga studio, that's so successful and acceptable in society or something. But this was more of a sure bet, because with the studio I could have paid for renovations, hired more teachers, but there was no guarantee that an income would come. And so, and being an entrepreneur is not easy, because you pay everyone else first and yourself last, maybe, if there's any left over. And so I really had felt the weight of what that was like, and it was very stressful. And so when I left there, and I just, really went out and led by the heart, I was able to get to the top level of the company. We were both able to get there in a relatively quick time. And what it's meant in the process has just been, I went to that first boot camp as this kind of broken, small, trying to like make myself disappear person. And now I've really stepped into my own personal power, and I'm able to, and through the pain and the stress and the weight of debt, I've been able to really help make an impact for other people that are struggling and going through that. I heard this crazy fact that people are only $400 to $500 away from bankruptcy bankruptcy and financial, or from not going into bankruptcy or financial ruin. And so that's part of my life's mission, because I know what it feels like to have a heart attack every time you use your bank card. And my deeper mission is to really save people from going through that, because it puts you in fight or flight for so long. And so really when I left and got to the levels that we're at now, it really is like a dream come true. It really is a system that works. It's not an easy system, but it's not easy, but it's simple to do this, and that anybody can do it. You know, I am a disorganized, free spirit. I'm half the time it's like you don't even know where what paper is where. So it's like anybody can do this business, and you just have to not quit and be as teachable as you can. And if I can get to the top level of the company and have the success that I've had, anybody can really do it. I often want to just tell people, look into my eyes, like this really works. If you just trust it and you put your heart and soul into this, where you can be in the next 4 or 5 years will just, it's mind-boggling. And so now I'm able to take my kids traveling around the world, and that's been the thing that I wanted to do for always. And the reward and the feeling of being able to do that, there's you can't put a price on it. We were in the mines going on a tour last year when we were in BC, and it was dark in there, and I was just wiping back tears, because it was here I am, single mom, taking my kids, traveling so that they can experience the places, and it's happening. It's actually happening and working. And so so if I can share with anyone, or if anyone's kind of sitting on the fence going, should I, is this, can it be? It absolutely can be, but you have to make that decision and really not let anything kind of steer you away from the course of this. Stay the course, and you'll be able to get all the abundances, and all the dreams can become realized if you just keep going. And so that's a little bit about my story. Insert you.